Alright, for my second video, I'm probably going to get in really deep. A little too deep. I'm talking about green energy generation. Solar, water, wind, and discuss the merits of each. Hopefully this won't drag on too long. Well, solar has been the big friend of everybody for a long time. And in fact, it's never been a better friend, because gone are the days where you'd have to set up these really complicated solar flowers. I saw a video online for like a 52 solar panel flower. It was absolutely insane. Nowadays, all you gotta do is just wire them up, make sure that you don't get lost, and you're good to go. And if you want to get complicated, you can throw in some paint, I guess. But when you really look at solar panels, they're not the best, alright? And I know it's almost heresy to say that. These guys, they changed the recipe to include two circuits instead of 2 wires. That amped up the cost of it considerably. Now, you get 1 EU per tick out of these bad boys here. Now that equates, considering that they're off half the time, 0.5 EUs per tick. And considering that it rains, I don't know if it's my server, but it rains an awful lot, and that's another period of it being off. So, you know, I'm even having trouble having 1 generator powering 1 illuminator in my house on the server, because it rains so stinking much, and that the power runs out. Sometimes it rains during the day, so that it never doesn't get any power at all. And I suppose its biggest draw is the ease of use. You can just slap it down, wire it up, you're good to go. You're producing 1 EU per tick when it feels like doing it. Other methods involve a little bit more work, like water power. Water power has the merit of being cheaper. In fact, it's really cheap. It just takes like wood and generators. Generators and wood. And for your components, you get 2 generators instead of 1. So you get twice as many. Yay. Now, these little guys, a bit more complicated. They'll provide 0.01 power per generator. Per block of water in a 1 block radius on all sides, including diagonals. So you have to create these convoluted designs like this, wherein the generators are completely ensconced in water. Now, considering that you still get 2 at a time, the work that you put into making these things is a little bit prohibitive. See, I dug this out myself, and I used dynamite and mining lasers, so I got lazy with it. Still took me a little while. I made 5 stacks of... beautiful. 5 stacks of 4 generators. Let's turn it on. 4 generators, and that makes 20 generators. And I'm still getting... I did the math, because apparently you can't take accurate power readings off of water gens right now. Statistically, considering that they're in this cluster format, so you're only getting 2.1 EU per tick instead of 0.21 EU a tick instead of 0.25 a tick. You're getting about 4.2 EUs max for this per tick. So some solar cells could blow this out of the water. Now, considering that this is all day, every day, 4.2 EU a tick, it still feels a little bit sucky compared to, you know, 0.5 EUs a tick with my solars. 0.5 effective EUs a tick. So it still feels like an awful lot of work, even considering the amount of cheapness involved. You have to spend more in time and effort and put into creating a cluster format underwater where you could possibly drown or break your legs, or any number of horrific fates could await you. Now you have the third option, which is actually my favorite, wind power. Huh. Which you have to, admittedly, do a lot of work to do as well. Get up really, really high, so that you will invariably break your legs should you fall. Great view, though. Great opportunity for a view. And set up these bad boys. Now, there are two schools of thought when it comes to wind power. There's the creating large rafts to maximize each individual generator's output, while spacing them out, making sure that there's nothing below, above, or on either side of them, and generally making a large, unwieldy, ugly, sky-crushing plateau up here that travels in all directions just to get, you know, the maximum out of each generator. And then there's my school of thought, where you just generally brute force the whole thing and create these wind towers. Keep them 4 spaces apart, and you'll get pretty good power out of it in a much smaller footprint. It looks infinitely better than those gigantic rafts of copper tin cables and bat boxes and transformers that people like to jury rig up here. All you usually do is make a big mess with that. Now these guys, they don't produce as much, but they produce more, if you think about it that way. They're still cheaper than solar power, and their output, in fact, continues day and night, and they love rainstorms. In fact, they put out more power. Oh, dang it. Ow, my ankles. They put out more power, and you can continuously upgrade them. You know, I made a branch out this way, and the downside is, now I've heard that they will break pieces off of them, like break the fins off of the turbine if there's too much wind. In this setup, I've never seen that happen. I've done on single player, multiplayer, and I've never seen any of these suckers break on me. And they're just fine. Let's see. Now, I have enough diamond fiber cable to make these things work right now. If your general options are to use only diamond or tin. They're the only ones that can go far enough to get you any kind of satisfaction. Tin, if these things produce more than 5 EU per tick, tin will fizzle and burn on you. So you might need to keep coming back up here to feed the tin cable if you decide to go with tin. Although this much tin cable is about 3 tin blocks worth. So, I mean 3 tin ingots worth. You get a lot of tin cable. That's good until you get yourself some diamond. And it produces like crazy. This sucker is enough to power my mass fabricator, get a decent amount of UU matter, and completely power up my MFSU downstairs. So I like wind. It's all a matter of how much work you want to put into it. If you've got a lot of resources and you're really lazy, go with the solar. If you feel like punishing yourself, being a masochist, and getting marginal returns on paper, go with this. But you'll probably get tired of digging trenches and drowning yourself on a regular basis. And if you want to put a little extra time and effort into it and get a lot of power, in fact, go with the wind. Wind generation is great. So there's your, in a nutshell, of the different types of power. And I'm going to go kill myself a sheep.